What's up guys, Drew here. Welcome back to Starting Out Solitary. It's week 216 and we are discussing basically the sort of steps to identifying as a witch and what that means. The exact way the question is worded basically, what are the basic steps to start identifying as a witch and what is the definition of being a witch to you? So what is it to be a witch? I mean, again, if you've watched Lippy Witch's video already, you've seen that my answer is going to be similar in that if you practice the craft, then you're a witch. And I would say that actually there are a lot of people who practice witchcraft without realizing it all day, every day. For me, if you want to call yourself a witch, you're a witch. How about that? Like, I'm not here to judge whether or not someone else is a witch or not. If they want to say they're a witch, you know, I may have my opinions about that, but you go ahead. I don't care. Because again, there are people doing things on a daily basis that are witchy, that is witchcraft, but they aren't witches. They don't see themselves as witches. They don't present themselves as witches. It's just that what they're doing, because magic is a thing, right? Witchcraft, the craft is a thing already. It exists. Magic is out there. It's everywhere. So it doesn't belong to anyone or anything. And of course people are practicing magic without realizing it, without having any understanding of it whatsoever. I don't fully understand all the things that I do myself. So now personally, that even asking me what my definition of witch is difficult because I don't think there's one definition. That's why I say if you want to call yourself a witch, you're a witch. I don't care. But for me personally, I work with moon phases. I work with the cycles of the seasons. I'm very nature oriented. I love, I do spellcraft. I actually work spells with herbs and crystals and candles, and someone else's witchcraft and the way someone else witches can look very, very, very vastly different than me in the way that I do. And as far as I'm concerned, that's fine. Like I said, I don't think that there's one definition for what makes a witch. I don't think it's for me to say what that is. There are so many kinds of witches, and I'm not even talking about like eclectic and sea witch, and I'm not even talking about that. There's so many different ways to work magic. There's so many different ways to be magical. For me, a witch is someone who, male or female, can stand in their power. A witch is someone who understands that there is a connectedness and that there are ways to manipulate energy. A witch is someone that has the concept of as above, so below, that everything can be affected. Real world material things can be affected by, or can have an effect on seemingly unrelated things, for example. A witch is someone who seeks balance to some extent. There are varying degrees of that, but masculine and feminine, and you can take that to God and goddess. I mean, take it any direction you want to, because these terms they're layered in their definitions. To me, a witch is typically going to be someone who is interested in delving into the darkness. Again, seeking that balance. But, for healing and to become a more balanced person and to be more effective in their workings. A witch is someone who looks at life a little differently than your mainstream. So they're kind of vague answers in that way, but that's because there isn't that specific answer. A witch isn't a woman who dances skyclad under the full moon and makes contracts with the devil. That is not what a witch is. So there isn't this specific bubble. Not that that couldn't be, but because there is not this hard line definition, the question is too big. There isn't a simple, succinct answer to the question. So hopefully you can make sense of my ramblings. If you have a different opinion of what a witch is, I would love to hear it. And I'll probably agree with you because, again, there's just so many answers to the question. But thanks as always for watching. And until next time, much love and gratitude.